Hey y'all, welcome back to Lovely J Podcast, and I am Coco, so let's get to it, guys. Let me hit it. Oh, my ears are ringing, y'all. My ears are ringing. Alright, so I'm ready to go into this thing. Okay, so I titled this, Let Them Go Too. And what I mean by that is, it's just really some people just gotta be let go. I'm not kidding. You just gotta let them go, because when they start messing with your mind, your time, and your money, your emotions, your feelings, you gotta let them go. I'm here to fight now. So how do I fight? Now, my fight is different from everybody else's fight. Now, I know God may have told some of you to go out and do this and do that, and hey, I ain't got nothing against that. You definitely be obedient. But my fight, my strength comes in the truth. Without truth, there is no strength for any of us. And where I'm at now, I had to face the truth. And that's why I like this podcast, because this podcast has a way of drawing the truth up out of me. No matter how I feel, this podcast will come in here and it will say, girl, all right, what's going on? And I have to somehow come out with it. So what I'm in the process of doing is being delivered from this kitchen dining room set, the things in my house, just being delivered from anything in my house, the home itself, the material things. Because if I don't seek God on this is what hurts so bad, is just knowing how much money you save it to put it, and how much money you put into something, time you put into it. Took me time to pick out this set and actually be like, is this what I really want? And then when I get it, somebody comes here and messes it up. I used to think nobody would actually take the time to mess other people's home up. But that's a lie. Because you need to go back and study what Section 702 is. You need to study what InfoGuard is, Control Pro. You need to study what gang stalking is. You need to study what community mobbing is. And once you study what harassment and stalking by proxy and abuse, and you study schizophrenics, mental health issues, you study depression, major depressive disorders, you study bipolar 1, bipolar 2, you study, narcissistic personality disorders. When you have hours and hours of studying this stuff, then you realize how crazy people can be. Because everything I'm saying right now is not unheard of. When I'm saying somebody come in here and manipulated my chairs and table, that's not unheard of. Because what does the DSM-5 book say about narcissistic personality? These people with this personality has a tendency to manipulate a person's mindset. They have the tendency to sit there and tell you one thing to try to convince your mind to believe their side of the story versus what they really did. It's the same thing here. Only difference is I'm not narcissistic. That's what it is. Right now, what these people did, the narcissist came up in my house. Because I'm going to break it where y'all can understand it. The narcissist came up in my house, because I know some of you are a little bit slower than others, and it's okay. I'm here to work with you to get you to understand it, because I need closure on this tonight, not tomorrow, but tonight. This thing needs to close out. This thing needs to be surrendered. So when I get up tomorrow, Sunday, a new week, a new dawn, this ain't even the thing on my mind no more. When I look at these tables and chairs, I'm not going to cry about it no more, because I've been crying the whole time since I've been home. When I seen what they did to my table and chairs, I cried. I wept. I ain't going to lie. I wept. I cried. I cried a lot. Cried myself awake, cried myself to sleep. I did a lot of crying. So let's go with this where you can understand it in narcissistic terms. So a narcissist gets mad at me. They hire people to follow me. They hire people to manipulate me. They hire people to befriend me. People to monitor me. They hire people to harass me. And part of the harassment comes in by, well, we'll wait till we leave, till she leaves. And they knew where I was going because they got me surveillance. And what they did, for those of you who don't know, I got this cold thing going on. Something they did in here. I don't know what they did. But they knew I was gone to the beach for 4 days. During this time, they came in here and they took my perfectly good sized table and chairs and now have just shrunk them down to where it looks like regular size kitchen tables, chairs instead of bar stools. These were bar stools, what I have. Like, the bar stools with the wide seat, leather seat. That's what I have. Now I have just something that looks like regular chairs. And that's not what I had when I left from home. But that's what I have now. These chairs have gotten smaller. They're not even wide as they was. And they're not tall as they was. So what did the narcissist do while I was gone? The narcissist had 4 days to come in here and make this look like this was mine. But the narcissist can't be that smart. They're not that smart to just say, well, I'm going to go in there and mess with her chairs. Or is they? The narcissist mess with my chairs and table to play with my mind and pay me back to let me know that, hey, I don't like you, want you out of my town. I'm going to make your life miserable. That's what happened. And in the process, the narcissist came in here and they sprayed something. And whatever they sprayed, it's not only got me sick. Okay? It's not only got me sick, but just about everybody in my family has gotten sick since we came back from the beach. So it isn't a bug either. It isn't like the stomach virus or flu or something like that. I don't think it is anyway. I don't think this is. I think this is a work of theirs. It's just what they do. They do it all the time. All right. Every time I look at these chairs, I want to cry. I want to scream. My feelings. I'm going to let y'all help me work this out. Okay? So my feelings when I look at these chairs is, and this is how I deal with my emotional stress or anxiety or things that just really get to me, because I don't want anything like this taking root in my heart. I sit there and I work the problem out. That's why God allowed me to come on here. So every time I look at these chairs, how do I feel? I feel angry. I feel tearful. I feel sorrowful. Not just for me, but for them, that they would actually waste their time on coming in here to try to make me feel bad, knowing that they're going to reap what they sow. It's a boomerang effect. It's coming back to them. And I feel bad for them that they're going to have to reap that. Now that's the compassion in my heart. That's the love for my enemies. I feel bad that they're going to have to go through this because of something they didn't have to do. They didn't have to do this. Okay, so that's my feeling towards it. How did I notice it? I noticed it because the chairs usually line up with my chair. They are usually higher than the lift chair that I sit in. When the lift chair is sitting at the rightful, not lifted. When I'm not lifted, these chairs are taller than my lift chair. And so I can easily just turn to the side and put stuff on it. But this time it was a drop in it. And that's how I noticed. And then when I started cooking when I came back, I was like, wait a minute. I can actually write on this table now. And before, I never did my Kiva assignments on the table because the table was too tall. Instead of writing over there at the table, because it was just like, it would hurt my arm to stretch up and try to reach and see what I'm writing, because that's how tall the table was. So I never wrote at the table. And as far as cooking go, I would have to stand up a lot of times to video the food that I was cooking because the table was so tall for me. But it didn't bother me none. I didn't have no problem with it. So what do? I sit down over there and next thing I'm cooking with ease. I didn't like that. I was cooking with ease. That's how I realized something was different with the table. I didn't mind cooking uncomfortable because I don't like to get comfortable no more. So I didn't mind having to get up and do extra. That was part of my physical exercise to me. And now this table is at the right height. Now I can just sit my arms over there and start right. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now I can just sit in the chairs, don't have to try to climb up in them or anything. I don't like that. So somebody came in here and messed with my stuff, didn't even ask me how I felt about it. Mess with my home. I'm upset. I'm still upset, but I gotta deliver from it. I got to. Lord, just remove this. Just change me about the situation. Help me to see the good in it, God, so that I can just go forward, because the backs on these chairs are so little. If you got a big back, you're going to be uncomfortable, These chairs barely fit my little granddaughter's backs. That's how little they made these backs on these chairs, and the width of the chair is not the size. And two of my granddaughters may not even be able to fit on there comfortable. Because it's like they made everything smaller. Like, I tried to see how did they do it. And one of the things I noticed too was that these chairs have a lot of damaged siding. Like the sides is real damaged on them. Like the kind of step part where you put your feet. Okay, so I'm done with the chairs. Now, let me get to the black side of things right quick, because I don't want to stay on here another hour. But I'm going to say this. We can't fight racism until we get ourselves together. Black people are always going to be fighting racism, but the ones who keeping it going is black people. And the white people sitting back laughing about it because they like, look at them. They fussing and fighting with one another over this, over that. And the whole time, they have a good cover-up. They have a good cover-up. It's the black people who think they're doing something and they're doing nothing. Because that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to come to them for help. They want you to agree with them for a little bit of money. And what I noticed about this program this program is kind of like Control Pro, where to get all these informants. And yet, I'm supposed to be the snitch, but the informants is the ones sitting around going back with lies just so they can get paid. And as long as you are part of a program like that, then don't fix your face to say that you're fighting racism and injustice and economic poverty and all that. Don't fix your face to say that. You look like lies. If you are in any program that's got to do with where you got to watch and monitor somebody and violate their civil rights and liberties, you are no better than the white man who will hang a black man. You're no better than them. So don't sit around and make like you trying to help the community when really you just don't want to get caught up yourself in some things that you may have got caught up in, and now you don't got that pull like you used to have. That's what happens to a lot of black people once they get caught up in the system. And that system goes back. That system is older than we is. That system's older than Methuselah. And it's no difference. It's been here. The system is not different. It has not changed. All you got to do is dangle some grants. Look what happened with coronavirus. What was that? The PPP loans? The PPP loans? All you got to do is dangle some approvals in front of black people, and you'll see how many will sell out. How many would jump on that boat? Well, that money's for us anyway. But at what price? You give up your freedom. You give up your right to speak up for those who can't speak up for themselves once you join in the same classes they're in. I mean, my thing is, if you're out here working with these underground organizations that dehumanize people and torture people, you should not be fighting for anything. You should be praying and repenting to get up out of that, because you're going to get tortured the worst. You think they're going to let you up out of those programs like that without making sure you don't run your mouth? So, having said that, I applaud those who are genuinely fighting against corruption, who are really putting their lives on the line to fight against corruption. I really do. And hold on, my sisters and brothers. Keep holding it down, because I'm going to be on that line soon. Now, I may be hitting it from this area now, but I do plan on getting on those front lines. I do plan on it. I plan on forsaking what I know is my normal to be placed where God wants me to be placed. And I say that like that because when you join in the forces like that, you have to let go of family and friends. Because the ones you think are on your side are really those who are just monitoring spirits. They're not on your side. And so when I get ready to come out from here, and I think that's why too they got my car like it is, because they knew I was getting ready to go into action. It's time. It's time for me, because I've been sitting back for now since last time I did something was 2019. And it's time for me to get back up. And I can't be afraid. I know I done been hurt. I know, there's a chance of this and a chance of that. But what if that chance is of God just taking what he has given me and multiplying it and fixing it where I can still live the life that he wants me to live safe? Because right now where we're at as a people, these children that's up under us, they don't stand a chance right now. They don't stand a chance. And if somebody don't teach them how to fight against these wars and these fake wars that's going on. See, you got to be careful of the rumors of wars. You'll see a war going on, but that don't mean that's your battle. That's not always yours. So you got to be careful what you jump into. That's why I don't jump on the bandwagon with everybody. Because there's some people, you just got to go back to history. History has already told us that the FBI has already infiltrated our communities. But they didn't infiltrate our communities with people of different races. They infiltrated the community with us. Our family, our friends. They didn't go get strangers to do it. They got people we knew to do it. And that's how it is now. It's no difference. So when somebody has something going on, you can applaud their efforts and, you don't got to talk bad against what they do. And at the same time, some of these eyes are just wicked. At the same time, you don't join in everybody's gang. You don't join everything that everybody's doing. When the fruit speaks, believe it. Your fruit is either good or rotten. There ain't no in between. Now, I know sometimes fruit get a little bit soft, but when we're talking about spiritual fruit, nope. You're not going to see all that. It's either good or bad. You don't get an in between. In between is for something that is solid, something that you can see, something that doesn't take faith. That's what the in between is for. Things that you can see. But when you walking by faith, you walking off of the things that you can't see. And from what I saw, if you can sit there and throw signals, if you can sit there and speak in code and try to manipulate others, and I'm talking about even targeted individuals. If you are a part of an organization that goes against targeted individuals, that our American citizens, and you don't know what they're charged with, and yet you judging them and you treating them harsh and bad because of what somebody told you. No, you don't have nothing I want to hear. I'm not even going to give you my ear. Nope, you don't have nothing that I want to hear if that's you. Because you have already failed the black people. The black people don't need another liar. What we need is somebody who got some true Holy Ghost fire. We don't need another preacher running around barking. Y'all better go listen to that sermon, watch them dogs, and find out what kind of dog you is and then correct it. That's the best thing I can tell you. Because everybody ain't all that. We got a bad problem in this county. And most of it is because the black people sold each other out. When they sat there and told, I remember when they first started doing the community watch events and how we thought it was good and how they was saying we're building with the community. We want to see everybody grow and safe, and we want to know where these trouble areas are so that we can handle them beforehand. But if the trouble area is at the police department, what y'all gonna do about y'all? What y'all gonna do about y'all? That's what I want to know. Because, see, our communities can't get better long as you keep paying our people to turn on each other. We can't get better because it's too many poor people who need that money that you're offering. And therefore, they're going to say what they need to say to get it. Which means somebody's family is going to go broken up. Because once the monitors are up, once we find out who the informants are, that tears our families apart. And y'all know it. That's why you keep offering the money. Because you know it's going to tear our families apart. And you know that we can become weak when it's just one person out there. Now, that depends on the faith of that person. Now, it can be one person out there, and if they got good faith in God, that person going to stand solid against all the tens of thousands of people. The whole 26,000 people in Montgomery County. All can be against you. But if God be for that one, you better watch out. And my faith is believing that whoever God sends forth, they're going to win the battle. They're going to bring forth change in these communities. When I read all that racism today, I saw a lawyer put his 2 cents in. And I started to say, no, what came to mind was hypocrite. You locked up a lot of them. You helped a lot of them out. But you still locked up a lot of them. You said a lot of them were your friends. What did you do behind closed doors? What did you do to help black people that nobody didn't know nothing about? That's what I want to know. When was the last time you did something for a black person to get them out of a situation that you knew they were innocent in? That nobody knew your name was behind it. See, you just can't go by people's words these days. And you can't, the fruit is there, but you got to pay attention to the fruit. The fruit can smell good, and then when you get into it, be rotten. You got to pay attention. And that's what people don't do. They think because This man helped my child out. He helped your child out. That this man is on the up and up. But the whole time, this man could be part of the propaganda. He could be part of the, let's send him in. He can get them stirred up. He can make them think that there is somebody on their side when there really isn't. I wouldn't dare boast and brag about people. Nope. You could be doing a good job, and I'm not going to sit there and put you up on a pedestal. Because if I got to do that for you to be good, chances are there's some bad up in you. There's a reason why we as faith believers do not boast and brag on one another, nor do we boast and brag on the things that we do in the community. There's a reason for that. Because we fail daily. Because you can't live up to this standard that you have given yourself. You can't live up to that and be holy too. Nope. Anyways, my thing is about getting delivered from the things in this house that God will change how I look towards it when I see things that are out of place and that have been torn up, that are costing me financially, that are emotionally disturbing me, that I will have a better attitude towards it and know that this is part of the persecution that the Bible spoke of whenever you do follow Christ, and that, y'all know what? I moved that chair. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I started breathing a little better. So that same chair may still have whatever was on it. But that is my goal, to just be what God would have me be. And that when these things happen, that I don't be weary in well doing. Because I know in my heart, I did what I thought was well to do, what was good to do. Because my granddaughters had been eating on the floor. We put spreads out on the floor because I didn't have a kitchen table. I didn't have kitchen chairs. I didn't have that type of stuff. Because every time I turned around, something was getting messed up and I had to keep paying for this, paying for that. I'm a single woman. I do this with God. You hear me? I do this with God. And I have refurnished my home with the chairs, kitchen dining table set, refrigerator, not used, brand new. My next goal is a washing machine and dryer once I get my water working. Well, the next goal would be water and then get a washing machine and dryer. So see, I have stood on the promises of God to restore my home and my mind. And now I just need to follow him when it comes down to, even though he gave this to me, whatever it is, I just have to trust him that he will keep on supplying no matter what happens. Because right now, this is a tough spot. I can't call the police and say, look, they didn't minimize my chairs. I can't call them and say that. I can't talk to y'all and say that, really. Really, what I'm saying to y'all sure enough gonna run back and say I'm crazy. But when I tell y'all, when I look at these chairs, I get so upset. Y'all, they took inches off my chairs. If these are my chairs, and the backs are so little. I remember the backs being so big on these chairs. I was like, y'all, they're not even the same height. Look at this. These two chairs supposed to be the same height, and they're not even the same height. So, well, since y'all on here, I might as well clean up a little bit. I feel my strength coming on to clean my house up so that Sunday morning I get up and I'm going to still talk to y'all though. But I just feel like I need to be doing something while I'm talking to you. But yeah, I came back home and I had trash throughout on the floor. I'm not saying I'm perfect. perfect, y'all. But I do know that a lot of this stuff that's happening, it's not... What did I have? I had something through there. It's not, what the world? Wait a minute, y'all. I gotta see something in a minute. Oh, a lot of the stuff that is happening, I do know this much. That it really is happening. And I'm not going to try to convince you about it. But I will continue to talk about it because it may not help y'all, but it helps me. It helps me to get it off my mind, my heart. And believe me or not, it just helps me. And I ain't tell you this for... I'm looking for my grabber. Where in the world? Things just get moved out of place. Look at this. This supposed to be my trash can. And they smushed it, so... And put a hole in the back of it. I had a box sitting here where I used to, I would use beside my chair, just throw away, you know, like wrap up or something if I eat some candy. And dang, they tore it up. It's alright. See, it's discovering stuff that... I'm turning this box down. I'm not even gonna worry about it. Not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna give it all to God. I wonder if I got church tomorrow. Let's see. I might not be able to go if I don't feel better. Let me see. Because I don't want to give nobody nothing. That's why I didn't go to my cousin's funeral. 1, 2, 3. So tomorrow's the 24th. We don't have church. Hey, we don't have church tomorrow. But I want y'all to know, if you ever start experiencing gang stalking, if you can't go to nobody else, you can't go to God. I don't want anybody to ever feel like there's just absolutely nobody there that can help you. I do believe that God is going to send help. I don't know how, when, or in what form, shape, or fashion, but I do believe that He is going to send help. I was I was watching a video last night about Section 702, and basically what that is where the FBI has, you know, warrantless searches. Right now, they can do warrantless searches without your permission. They ain't got to tell you nothing. And a lot of this is through cyber technology. And this is what my people that are like me don't understand about these type of programs. Is that when you get cybersecurity and technology involved, this means they can look at your phone, they can watch you through your phone, they can run searches on you with your social security number, they can hook up surveillance to watch you, and it's legal because of Section 702. However, it's illegal to do it to an American citizen. It's supposed to be for foreign adversaries. That's who it's supposed to be for. It's supposed to be for those that are terrorists. A terrorist watch act. A terrorist watch list. However, Americans do get on that list. And once they're on that list, and that list is somehow leaked out to the public and sent to all these different businesses and churches and anywhere you probably would go, this list is sent to. And when that list is sent, you are treated badly, hatefully. You are blacklisted from anything American, including the church you may have went to all of your life. You now become blacklisted, and you wonder why people treat you funny. They treat you funny because your name on that list. And when your name go on that list, they're basically saying that, that I should do these two different kind of, hold up y'all, I'm sorry. I just noticed this cake mix is different. One is yellow, white. I got 2 yellow, 2 white. I'm gonna bake one of these cakes tomorrow. But anyway, once your name is on that list, you're basically, it's basically telling people, hey, look, this isn't one of us. They're not, treat them horrible. Make them feel unwelcome. Because they're blacklisted. We don't want to service people who don't respect our government and don't respect our country. And that's why you see a lot of people looking at you funny. Now, I'm on that list. I found out the hard way. Restaurants started messing my food up. If you go check out a lot of my restaurant reviews, I was always doing reviews on everything that I do, food, all that. But then it got with the restaurants. The restaurants got really bad. And I was like, you know what? Let me just share this with others. Because if they're doing me like this, just imagine what they may be doing to some of them. If they have a problem with a person, or, it might be outside of the blacklist. If they don't like you, then you go to a restaurant and you eat and you get sick. Now you see, they're operating and using these tactics outside of the blacklist. And they're already using it on American citizens. So either way, it's just bad to be tampering with somebody's food. Putting poisons in it, mixing the drinks with Pine Sol or some kind of cleaning agencies. And a lot of these places started doing me like that. And that's when I was like, why they treat me so bad? I don't know any of these people personally. And they got word when they were fixing my food. This one girl, she fixed my food one day. And the onion rings were so burnt. I said, ma'am, can you fix me some more of these? Because I can't even chew these. I can't eat these. This is just burnt beyond, a usual, okay, it may have overcooked. You could tell this was intentionally done. And so the girl got upset and she started giving me an attitude. And I just sat there with her and I was like, look, ma'am, listen, you got a lot to learn about customer service. I said, would you eat that? And everywhere I've had to go, I've had to ask people, would you eat that? Now, this is what you served me, so will you eat it? And they say no, they wouldn't eat it because they know what they did to it. And that's where when I started realizing that, you know what? I can let this work for my good or work for my bad. And I started doing more reviews, more serious after that happened. And it started working for my good then. So what they meant for bad actually turned out to work for my good. However, the food part, pretty much if the food is really to the point where I can taste the chemicals or the poisons in it, I will not eat it. I will return it back, or I would speak up, I would say something. If the food taste is halfway decent or, decent enough to eat, I'll probably eat it. But so far, I know in 2022, it was horrible. When I first came on that list, it was horrible. Everything was terrible. I just didn't know what to do. And I still get terrible food to this day. But it's not like it was. But I can still tell. I go order chicken wings. They'll sell me broke chicken legs. Or either they'll give me real big wings. Or sometimes they give me real tiny wings. Subs, if I order subs, sometimes they'll fill one side with meat, the other side won't have nothing. So it was little things like that made me realize that something is different, something's going on. I go to the post office, to the stores, the local stores, and people would come in there Like, it could be nobody in there, and then all of a sudden this store fill up, and it's got so many people in here, and these are people I have never seen before. That's how many people would be in there. I mean, off in one trip to the store, I may see all together probably about 15, 20 people would walk in that store and just fill that store up. Sometimes 10 people, but it was never less than 5 or 6. It was always a lot of people. And what made me really curious was one day when I pulled in the store, and I had to get something out of my pocketbook, so it took me a little bit longer to get it out. But I saw these people rushing in the store with their phones, and they looking down in their phones, and like they were looking at a picture. And then it's almost like they walked into the store, and when they didn't see who they were looking for, they walked back outside, and they look around. And then finally when they spot me, they would spot me, then they'll bend over and tie their shoe, and they'll go get in their car. They wouldn't buy nothing out of the store. If they didn't see me in the store, they didn't buy nothing out of their store. They just walk in, and then they come back out. So that let me know that it was me that was the target. That's when I realized I was a target. I didn't understand what the target meant, so I started researching, and I was like, okay, here we go. I've got something here that sounds like what I've been going through. And that's how I ended up on this journey that I'm on now. And that's how I can tell you that if you are fighting against racism and you're taking part in these programs that take life away from black, white, Hispanic, because one thing you're not going to do and you cannot do, you can't fight racism unless you fight for all races. I know, it sounds crazy, but that's the only way you're going to get it done. You can't just fight for yourself. It's not a selfish battle. It's a humanity battle. That's what it is. It's humanity. You're fighting against being labeled as a human or not. And that, you got to treat other races good too, if you expect to be treated good. And I think a lot of times people forget that part, that we can't ask for something and then we don't give it back. So, y'all, I'm still sick. Whew. So it's a lot that goes into that, and I think that's why Dr. King, he represented nonviolence, because it's more power in being nonviolent than it is to be violent. To be violent is to get out there and get out of breath quickly. To be aggressive is to spread in quickly and you die out quickly. To be successful and have longevity in what you do is to take each milestone with grace, humanity, love, compassion for one another. It's to handle the truth. It's to deliver truth. In everything that I just said, truth has to be in all of it. Without truth, there is no love. Without truth, you cannot have compassion for somebody else. You can't acknowledge that this is what happened, and you can't grow from what happened without truth. And I think sometimes a lot of people are just stuck on the fact that, we were slaves. Once upon a time, we were slaves. Right now, some of us are still slaves. I know as for me right now, I am in the slave market. And it's not by choice, but it's where I'm at. This is a different type of slavery, but it's still slavery because I'm looked at now as a pawn. I am I don't know how to say it, but it's like I am their Mr. Bojangles. It's like I'm the one dancing in front of everybody, and people are paying others to come see what happens to me. That's what it is now for me. They're paying to see what's the next move. How will we break it down next? What can we do to her next? I'm like a human experiment. And I know this because I know how I feel after certain things happen to me. Certain things that happen to me that I don't want to talk about right now. But I say there are days when I wake up and I feel normal. Like ain't nothing ever happened. None of this never happened. There are days I wake up, I'm too overjoyed. There are days I wake up, my heart rate is low because I have been knocked out for hours. Not by my choice or not because I'm tired, but because, they needed to do whatever they needed to do. I have lost hair. Right now, I don't have that much hair. Okay, be honest. I don't have that much hair right now because a majority of my hair was taken away. They use these samples to go do what they do with whoever they do it with. I don't know. I just know that these things are true. I just know that there are pieces of skin missing here, missing there. It's a whole experiment. It's a whole experiment. And if you don't know government, then you're going to miss it. And that's why I got to learn more about politics. I got to learn, because I ain't going to lie. I did not ever want to learn about no politics, because I was just like, I got the Lord, Savior Jesus Christ on my side. I don't need to know this stuff. But you know what? There's a season for it. There's a season for social studies. And I'm in that season now where I need to learn more about who has the right to what. Because there are bills I want to be passed. There are bills that I have been looking at and reading through and saying, hey, that need to be upgraded right there. Because they don't got down what's happening to me. What's happening to me falls underneath this category, but it's not there in the way that it's happening to me in the covert style. You may see the overt styles of something that is happening, but you don't see the covert style of harassment underneath stalking laws or underneath abuse laws. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Told y'all I don't feel well. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I know I sound nasty, but I look at this, and this is where my hope for tomorrow is. Not for just these young people, but also for the elders. The elders need to see some improvement. And I guarantee these elders will tell you, this is what we have been waiting on all our life. We need to see that. We need to see the elders approve some things in our life. Because that's who we go to obtain favor. That's who we go to obtain a good report, is by the elders. Those that's up 90-some years old, 100 years old, 70, 80 years old, and they're still able to talk to us, and they're able to say, well, you've done right. Now, we fought for this for 40, 50 years and thought we'd never live to see it, and now here it is come to pass. We need to see that from them. We need to hear them say that, because that's where our faith comes by hearing as well. We don't need to just be trying to be seen and stuff, but it's things that's got to come to pass because the Bible said it would. And if we don't get where we need to be, it's not that it ain't gonna come to pass, but it's gonna have to wait a whole nother generation. Look at those children of Israel, 40-some years kept walking around that same mountain to get in line with God's will. So that's my prayers right there, that whatever I do in these seasons coming up for the year 2024, that it be lined in God's will. Because like I said, I've been reading over them laws, and I've been studying some of these laws, and I'm like, oh my God, what I'm going through is not even on there. What you're going through is not even on there. And it's just so many things that they keep upgrading, and they keep overlooking the real issue. And the people who need to be really held accountable, they keep getting these passes. And they're the same ones who make the laws. They make the laws. That's just like I was saying yesterday about the county commissioners, the town commissioners. We can't even get a zoning done unless we go through them. Okay, if you're outside the city limits, you got to go through the county. We got to go through the county, then the county sends it right back to the town. Well, how good that is, because the town already had denied us. So if we're going to go right back to the same people who denied us, then what help is that? At what point do we bring a third set of people in that says that we can look at this from an objective point of view and make a decision that's going to be best for the county and a decision that's going to be best for the town? See, that's where I'm at now. That's where God is leading me into learning more about politics now. And that's why I keep talking about what I go through. I don't talk about it as often, but this here, yeah, these chairs and this dining room table, that bent me right there, because I was like, yeah, I didn't. Y'all don't know how long a sister been waiting to have a new set. I've been in this home 29 years. It was March the 15th. Made 29 years that I have been living here. And the only new kitchen table set I had in here was the one that came with the mobile home in 1996. And so now this is 29 years later. I finally got a new kitchen table set. Along the way, now I had used table sets, but I'm talking about a brand new one off the showcase. One that I ordered. Ain't nobody never used it. That's what I'm talking about. And so the way God allowed me to refurnish my home with everything new, everything I put back in here, nobody never used it. I didn't have to go get used things because God made a way for me to have new things. And I saw what happened, and I was like, wow, look at the manipulation here, and look at the efforts that went in to make sure that I got manipulated good. I look at these chairs, it's just like looking at these old school chairs now. It definitely is not a good look for me. I can tell the difference. You would say, why would people take time to sit there and, shave chairs down or cut chairs down or make chairs or floors look like they've been old or dirty? Well, if you understand PSYOPs, which is psychological operations in the military, then you will understand how this is beneficial when it comes down to fighting in wars. This, playing with somebody's mind like this, and a person don't know, this can give them a heart attack. This could give them an overwhelming amount of stress. This could cause them to go into relapse. To say if there was somebody that was an alcoholic or a drug addict, they don't understand what's going on with them. And they feel led now, nothing I ever do is going to be right or good enough. And that's what hurts, when you get that thought that nothing I do is going to be good enough, I cannot do right. And the whole time you don't realize that it's not you, it's people coming behind you doing things to you to make you feel and seem like you offbeat when you're really not. I would love to teach. See, that's the stuff I like to teach right there, is the things that people don't look for in life. The things that people overlook and just think that this isn't possible for this to be done like this. Haven't y'all seen the miniature size TikToks and videos where they have these miniature stores and they mimic exactly the real box of cereal or the real tables and mirrors? People do that these days. They will take time to do that. If it's part of the assignment and part of the mission, they will do that. And that's the part we've got to upgrade on, people, and stop joining in this mess. Racism is a big problem, but so is it when black people take part in it and agree along with this. Every time you throw a sign to your brother and your sister, you're taking a piece of life from that person that don't know why you don't like them, that don't know why they're not being accepted. See, I felt bad at first when I started realizing that I wasn't accepted. Even had to do away with my love life. I had to let it go. I had to let all that stuff go because I found out that the people that I was hanging up under, they had become informants. And I didn't know how to handle that, so I just let everybody go. Some of it I still don't know how to handle some days. But I make sure that I never leave anybody in the state of mind that I can't go back to. As angry as I get sometimes, the Holy Spirit catches me. And I have to be mindful of what I say, that I don't leave people in a position or say something where I put myself in a position that I can't come up and speak to you again. That I'm mindful of that. I'm very mindful of that, especially when it comes down to family, because I know I talk a lot about family, and it's because I know that they could do better. I know God would increase them better if they were not part of something like this. And at the same time, I have to be careful how I say that, because that the goal of the goal of all this is to isolate the target, to make the target feel like nobody wants them, nobody cares, and to get the target down to nothing. Just destroy the target's life, home, properties, anything, bank accounts, health, all that. That's what the goal of it is to slow kill the target. It's a game to these people. It's real life to me and others that it's really happening to. And then to these people, it's a game because, see, they get paid multiple ways. This is multiple incomes for a lot of people. But it's blood money. Because you don't know how many of your relatives are gone now because of this type of program that's in our county. For all you know, they die with the flu and not being overly cooked by radiation, right? You were told they had the flu, and you saw flu-like symptoms, but you didn't realize that when a person gets intoxicated with radiation, that can produce those same symptoms as the flu and the same symptoms as coronavirus. See, if you don't know that, then you don't know. There are ways that the brain can be manipulated. And I'm not going to say, this is why I speak when I'm well, because I can't say that a night won't ever come for me. What do I mean by that? The Bible speaks to us, work while it's day. I can't say that night won't ever come when, I don't know what might hit my brain, and that be it for me as far as being able to articulate like I can now. Because I have been hit by some of them things, and it just left me startled. So that's why I speak now when I'm in my good health, in my good days, even though I got this congestion going on tonight, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. So as I get ready to get off of here, I hope I said something that can help somebody look and reach beyond. If I don't do nothing else, this is definitely what God has called me to do in this area. I hope that I have said something to help you rethink your strategies of how you go about handling things that happen to you. Because even now, and listen what I say, even now in 2024, you better learn how to make reports to your police department. And I'm talking about, you better learn what their protocol is now. Because these government offices like this, they are changing up. They're changing up. They're not coming out doing reports like they used to do. They're not. The only time they're coming out now is if somebody is basically, once the threat is over, or something really has happened. And I'm talking about, like, if you call, like, for something's really got to be going on. And I hate to say what it is, but I would say pretty much it would have to do something with some blood involved for them to come out now and do what they used to would do back in the day, and be glad to do it back in the day because that was their job. Now they say we understaffed, and that's just not serious enough for us to come out from. Give me your name and number, and I'll write down what you need. And they now have went from being deputy sheriffs and police officers to now they're like secretaries. They taking a step back. They're not in the fields anymore like they used to be. So we're going to have to learn how to do reports. We're going to have to find out what what can be reported and what can't be reported because it's changing up so much. All right, y'all, so I'm going to get off of here. I did want to get this floor swept up over here because I did start feeling better once I started cleaning up. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to handle all this over here behind me, and that's going to be it, y'all. So peace, love, and happiness. Thanks for listening because I got a lot off my chest. I got 2 hours worth of stuff off my chest tonight, and just thank y'all so much for listening. Y'all are great. Peace, love, happiness.